Welcome, everyone, to episode 148 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, is Cocoon worth our time?
Or do we want to just climb in a cocoon and stay there?
Yes. This episode, we are talking about Cocoon by Geometric Interactive. And this game came out in September of 2023. Relatively new.
Certified fresh.
Certified fresh. Thanks, Tom. I play this on the PC, 2.16 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Quite a bit bigger. It's a fatter grub on the Series S. 3.42 gigabytes.
Oh, okay. That is quite hefty. Putting on that extra, what's it, chitin? I don't know.
Yes. That hard outer layer.
Hard exterior here.
Calcifying.
Calcifying all that. But what kind of game is this, Tom?
I put third-person puzzle adventure.
Yeah, I put third-person puzzle game. So
I think, my problem is I wanted to just put puzzle game, but I'm scared by saying puzzle game, people are going to think I mean like Bejeweled or Tetris.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like,
but I put third person because then like you're taking out the puzzle part. But I understand that it is an adventure. There is somewhat of a story here, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. And but before we get to that, let's get to that game loop.
I have traverse environments, solving puzzles to unlock new areas to explore.
I put solve puzzles to progress the air quotes story.
Yes.
Because the game, like, let's just get into it. Let's get into the things that we liked. The game literally starts as soon as you hit press start or press the A button.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It was because we stream this on Twitch. I usually start the clock after like the game, like, I'm expecting there to be a, choose your difficulty or something like that. So I can hit my timer at that point. But I had to, it disoriented me a bit in terms of, oh, God, I get the timer now. Go. Because, you got a very quick cutscene, something being ejected and all that other nonsense. And then there you go. You're off to the races.
Yes. I enjoyed that I was being hatched as a character.
Yes.
You are a bug person. So maybe it's a third bug puzzle adventure.
True.
You're a beetle man.
You're a beetle man. No arms, just wings or something.
You like Naruto Run. You have like arms, but they're permanently stuck behind you.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I got to say, this game's a bit of a looker. It's a simple design, I will say. I mean, I think your notes have it better, but I was thinking like Wind Waker or like, something very, it's not cel shaded. It's not. And maybe that's the problem. But you said like Journey. Journey is a good way to compare this.
The art is simple, but beautiful,
right?
In the spirit of games like Journey or Flower or, there are any number of these games where it's simple geometric shapes. The colors are primary. It's very like, almost like painted. Yeah.
I played a game called like Planet of Lana that was like that as well. So and it's good because a lot of times you can get lost in the your character blending into the environment or something like that can be an issue. But in this case, not so much. So that was good. And well, as this is a puzzle game, Tom, I got to say, I thought the puzzles were pretty good. They were pretty clever. And I appreciated that the game builds on itself. The puzzles build on each other, which is really cool.
Given me a beautiful segue, which is that I love that the way that the game teaches you the mechanics without any words.
Yeah.
You do not read anything. The game... This is 100% a show, don't tell game. The game shows you everything, and you learn how to stack spheres inside spheres. You learn how to dodge things. You learn how to fight bosses. It's just the game shows you, and then you do. Yeah. And that's the game.
Yeah. There is no interface at all. Literally, the only text that you see is in on the title screen, and when you press the menu button to get it, like your options. that is it, at least from what I've seen so far in the game. So it is a testament to good game design, I would say, that you can kind of figure out how to play this game and in a very quick, in a very short amount of time. So
yes, there's a classic example of Mega Man X and how it teaches you the game mechanics in that first level.
Yeah,
there's videos on it, and this very much lives in that world where you just pick up the controller. There are only so many buttons on the controller. You press buttons, you figure it out. The game rewards you when you do something right, and then you know that's what you needed to do, and you move forward.
Yeah. And speaking of buttons, there literally is only one button that you have. You have your directional pads and the action button. In this case, the A button. That's it. That's all you use. There's nothing else in the game that you need to think about or know. So
yeah, it's really interesting how it can do so much with so little.
Right.
Because everything is context sensitive. If you're carrying an orb and then you go over to the place where the orb is, another orb is, and you press the button, it'll switch the orbs.
Yep.
Because that's the only thing you can do there.
Right.
If you go over to a panel and the panel activates and you press the button, then the panel activates.
Very intuitive. And I got to say, the other cool thing about this is how there's no loading screens at all.
Oh, in this game.
No loading screens. And you're jumping in between like worlds or something. And they do it in such a nice way. And you just figure it out. And the other thing I just realized, like, even with that button, as we're saying, it is context sensitive, but they also play with how you use the button.
Yes.
Right. Because you can hold, there's certain times where you have to hold it down and other times you have to tap. And, it's just, again, they just do a great job of showing how to do things. Cause you see the character, like, kind of taking his time, kind of like charging up or whatever, that panel or whatever it is. So, yeah, a lot of good things. A lot of good things here, Tom.
Yeah. And I want to, before we move on, I want to say I really enjoyed the way that the worlds were differentiated.
Yeah.
Like, they're done in different colors, but they also have very different environments and different soundscapes. So, this one's more of like an arid desert, and this one's more of like a goopy swamp.
Right.
And they sound different and look different. So it's very easy for you to know where you are. Like, you're not going to like mistake that you're in the green one instead of the orange one. Like, they have very different palettes and very different, you can close your eyes and tell where you are.
Oh, yeah. And one of the things I do want to quickly say, this game has boss fights. And I like the fact that if you do lose the boss fights, you're not like taken back all the way to the beginning to level whatnot. You're dropped right in front of it. You start all over, and you don't have to like go through the whole animation of like the boss like waking up or whatever it is again. It's just like the boss is like ready to go and fight you again. And it was like, okay, cool. That's great.
It kind of like rings you out in the sense that like it throws you out of the battle arena.
Right.
Like, the bosses don't kill you. They just kind of kick you out of their domain.
Right.
And then you have to like go back to their domain and fight them. Like, they're like, get out of here.
Right. Yeah. So,
I do have one other little note here that I almost forgot. And I think it's a very important thing to mention, which is, in a puzzle game, it can get very tricky and you could end up going around in circles and getting frustrated.
Right.
But what I really like that this game does is that once you're done with an area and don't need to be there anymore, the game closes the door behind you. And so what that means is the only areas that you have access to at the moment are areas that you should be in.
Right.
If you're done with a place and there's nothing else to figure out there, or at least nothing else to figure out there right now, you won't be able to go there.
Yeah.
So if you left, orb number 1 back somewhere and you need orb number 1, you're going to have access to that area until you go and get that orb and put it where it needs to be.
True.
And the second you've moved it, they close the door behind you and say, okay, well, don't go back there because you don't need to be there anymore. And so it's always gently coaxing you forward. It's always saying that you're done with that and you're on the right path now.
Right.
And I appreciate that. And it does it all without words. It's
very true.
It's
very
wild.
True. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, this is very true. Very, very surprising game, I will say. But what isn't a surprise, though, Tom, if anyone's listened to this show, we got to talk about some dislikes, don't we?
Yes. And don't worry, I have some.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will start by saying, dude, there's no explanation of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because the game starts super abruptly, and because there is no dialogue, story, whatever. You're hatched and it just goes go. Yeah. And I'm like, I guess I explore now because I don't know what else to do.
Right.
I'm going to move around and press this one button that I can press until things happen.
Right. I will say I started this game off on keyboard, and that was kind of a mistake because, first of all, it wasn't WSAD. It was actually the arrow keys.
Oh.
And spacebar. So I was like, this is kind of weird. So then I was able to switch it back to controller, but that was a little off-putting because, like, the keyboard has so many keys. So I'm like, I'm jamming away here trying to figure out how the heck do I move this character here. And that was a little frustrating that the game really doesn't tell you anything at the jump. I did have to go into the menu. No, literally nothing. I mean, yes, if you go to the settings, then you can see the controls there. And that's what I did. And I was like, oh, there's literally only one button on the controller that I have to manage here.
But I'm wondering, does that mean on the keyboard you had to go figure out what the settings button was?
Yeah,
like you had to escape or something?
Yeah, you just hit escape and then find it. But
okay.
Yeah. Now, Tom, I know you said you liked the fact that the game kind of closes the doors behind you.
Yes.
Which is, I agree to an extent. But it's just like the game felt very much like on rails because of that. Like I felt like there's this world, like, obviously the developers and the artists did such a great job building all these different worlds. I thought I would have a little bit more time to like explore it. And it was like, nope, just focus on your task. You got to do this, move this orb over here and all this other stuff. Don't worry about anything else. And in that way, I'm like, okay, well, it almost feels like they're just missing a little bit of that kind of explore, because like literally when you're dropped into the world, they tell you nothing but to explore, but then you're not really exploring. They're just kind of guiding you into this one experience, and that was it. So
coaxing you to the next puzzle that you have to figure out,
right?
And then once you've solved it, they close the door behind you, and then it's like, okay, well, now you move on to puzzle number 2.
Right.
I do have to mention that it does feel very designed for backtracking. I don't like Metroidvania. Like, you don't have this power yet, so you can't go there yet. And there's plenty of that here. You can see it right from the beginning of the game where it's like, oh, you need this to go through that door, like, through a path or whatever is blocked because you don't have a certain ability yet. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be back here later.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe that's, I have it down as a negative, but you'll be exploring these areas. You may be done with them for the moment, but you're not done with them.
Right. That's true. And while I did like the puzzles, some of them can be a bit of a head scratchers for me. Like, for example, when you try to first find your triangle companion over there, or a pyramid. Is it a pyramid? More of a pyramid, maybe. Yeah. But that first one, I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, how do I get that pattern to hit, because for those particular sequences, the idea is you need to find the correct pattern to hit with these like objects that are on the floor. Yep. And I was just like scratching my head the entire time. I think I probably wasted like 10 minutes just on that puzzle. I was a bit of a dum-dum. And then I was like, oh, okay, there's this whole section here where you have to pull and then like read the way that the inscriptions are on this like pole or whatnot. But it was still a little frustrating. It was like one of those things where it was like they obscure it because you're in this forced perspective and and it was I don't know. It was that was one thing I was kind of upset about. But for the most part, though, the puzzles I thought were pretty well thought out and laid out. So,
Yeah.
but
I thought it was weird that you don't have the option to save and quit.
yeah,
And the game doesn't tell you when it's saving.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are no words.
Nope.
It doesn't say when you see this symbol, the game is saving. You don't get one of those. So I don't know when it's doing the saves. And so just to test it out, I force quit. I just quit the game to see what would happen. And I did lose some progress, but it wasn't. I think it's like whenever you access the latest area that you're in. And since the doors close behind you and stuff like that, it's never too much of a setback because it's always like, I guess it saves at whenever you access the newest puzzle.
Oh,
So
I was wondering, is it that circular thing? Like that allows you to switch between worlds. Is it that area that it always like lands you in when you loaded the game back in?
No, it loaded me back to wherever it had last saved. It just didn't tell me that it had saved there. But from my deduction, it seems like when you access a new area or a door closes behind you, like it's saving at the point at which you've accessed the new area or accessed the next puzzle. So you're never really too far. Can't lose too much progress.
Right. Okay. Cool. And we kind of talked about this already, about like what the heck is going on with this game. I'm a bug man carrying orbs to do what? What's my motivation here? Like what is this purpose? I'm fighting these things that are inside these orbs, and then I'm taking I'm gaining powers by killing them. Like what's my purpose? What's this? Will I grow arms by the end of this? Who knows? I don't know yet.
I put as one of my dislikes that the perpetual Naruto run looks stupid.
Yeah, Naruto runs with wings.
Yeah, you're just back there with your wings behind your back, and so when you're carrying the orb, it just sits back there behind you.
Right. So it's a shame, but it's okay. That's their decision.
Yeah, it's definitely a stylized choice.
Right,
and the game is, I know we're in our dislikes, but it'll look good. It'll look this good forever.
This is true. Because
it is one of those sorts of games. It's got a style to it.
So are we on to our other thoughts here, Tom?
I think so. I think it's time to move on.
All right. Well, Tom, I will tell you how long to beat says this game takes about 4 hours to complete. That's it.
4 measly hours.
That is it. And
we played a quarter of it.
We did. We sure did play a quarter of this game. And I gotta say, this is another one of those Annapurna interactive games. So
yes,
it's one of those. They seem to always have these like off kilter kind of games, and I'm here for it. Or am I? But what do you got here, Tom?
Okay, so I did a little researchy. As we discussed, the game is very new, so there's not a whole lot of information available out there. But it was directed by, and I'm going to butcher this person's name, Jeppe. Carlsen, who is the designer of Limbo and Inside. So not a big surprise in terms of like having a puzzle game, right? I put, because we recently just played Soma, right? The sounds in this game are entirely synthetic. So nothing is recorded. It's the complete opposite of Soma. So in Soma, they recorded everything.
Yep.
And here they recorded nothing. It's all, in order to give it kind of an alien, more, weird, synthy kind of feel, which they definitely nailed.
Oh, yeah.
There are no sound recordings. It's all digitized, synthesized. It's all fake. And I put also that this studio is based in Copenhagen, Denmark. And surprise, surprise, Cocoon is their first game.
Wow.
So depending on how well this goes, maybe they'll get to make more games. Or maybe this will be their one and only game.
The one-hit wonder. Oh, well.
Could be.
Well,
is it a hit? I guess you all will know.
Yes, because we are going to get into our final thoughts here, Tom. Are we keeping Cocoon on our respective hard drives here? Or are we going to crush it like the bug it is?
Oh, well, to extend the pun or the play a little more, my hour flew by.
Oh,
much like a flying insect. And I love to feel smart, Chris. I think a lot of people probably feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
And this game made me feel very clever. I felt very smug and sure of myself as I played it. I was like, I am very smart. I solved that puzzle. I love that it's only 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And so I think I totally could see myself finishing this.
Nice.
And here we are at closing in on the end of 2023 as of this recording. And this might be my favorite game that we've played this year. So
wow. Okay.
We'll see.
You're talking about for this particular podcast, not Game of the Year.
Well, yeah, because we have Star Wars.
Well, you mean Lego Star Wars?
I meant Jedi Survivor.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that was also a game you played this year.
Yes, but
All right, fair enough.
Cal Kestis. If you don't know who Cal Kestis is, you're not my friend.
Oh,
and you should go
ask somebody.
You better go ask somebody. You better go find out.
Google me, or Google Cal.
Yeah.
But
how about you, Chris?
For me, this game definitely kept me hooked for the hour. I definitely am in agreement with you, Tom. There was those aha moments that you get in this game that is a joy to have, and because of that, and because it's only 4 hours, I'm definitely keeping this, and I'm definitely continuing to play this game. So there's that.
It's super fun.
It is.
I think that if everybody listening, if they'd spent the 20 something minutes that they took them to listen to us and just spent that playing the game, I think that's probably enough to get them to play the full hour.
Yeah.
And maybe more than that.
Maybe, but it is a good time. And you guys should check it out, I guess, or not.
Yeah.
That's up to you. That's our decision.
No, it's not up to them. If you're listening to this, you're obligated now to go play this game.
There you have it. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D, or you shoot an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching us on YouTube, send us a comment down below and, we'll try to respond here and there. 1H1D is part of that QTV network. So if you like any great gaming content out there, check it all out at quitthebill.com/network. Yeah. Tom.
Yes.
We need to find out what we're playing next, though, don't we?
Yes, we do. Will it be another puzzle game?
We shall find out, because the surprise button is helping us.
Is it going to be another scary game, Chris?
Oh, God.
You got a break here. You got a break here from the scary.
Please.
You're going to go right back to it?
Please, no. So, surprise button, please be nice to me this time and tell us what we're playing. Here we go. Oh, okay.
Sigh of relief, it sounds like.
Sigh of relief, and it is Shredders.
Oh, awesome. I love Ninja Turtles.
Not that one. Although anyone who is a game designer, please make a Shredder game.
Yeah, I want to play as the Foot Clan.
Yeah, play it as the other side of the Ninja Turtles.
I want to work my way up to being a man who's got claws on both of his hands.
There you go. That would be pretty cool. But no, Tom, this is a game that looks like a snowboarding game of some sort. So
different kind of shredding.
Different kind of shredding.
It's not even paper.
No.
I was like, maybe it's like an office job. Just put not that either.
Sorry, Tom. It's I know you're really looking forward to that as well. But Shredders is our next game, and that is it for this episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.